I want to think about passing it on as a teacher, as an instructor, as a mentor for other artists and writers. What are some of the guardrails you try to, or the instructions for moving forward that you try to give those folks who are just getting started on the journey?
Yeah, to listen to themselves and not other people. Because I think a lot of times we are so conditioned to follow instructions.
Are we supposed to be? Oops.
I know, right? We're supposed to be. Some of us don't by nature. But I think that, there's always this energy around people who are artists and writers to find a mentor, find somebody who can help them to get to where they want to go. And that's all well and good, but I think that if you don't first connect with your own internal voice, right, you won't be able to do anything interesting. You know what I mean? And so I think one of the things that I try to do, especially now, with the young people that I have the pleasure of working with and the honor of working with and learning from as well alongside, is to follow their gut, follow their intuition, and listen to that inner voice, around their making, around the way that they move through the world, around with whom they engage with and interact with. I think it's just very important to help people to understand that you do have a guiding voice inside of you and that it's quiet, and it can't be heard over the din of all the other voices outside, So you have to get still. And you have to spend that private time and that quiet time to refine your ear to listen to that inner voice, right? So that's one thing I feel like, I'm trying to really, encourage the young people that I have the pleasure of working with right now to do, Another thing too, I think is try to, research. That research, I think, is so critical. That research, you know what I mean? Like, because of this world that we live in, this social media world, we're constantly inundated with all of these ideas, images, people's, other people's stuff, other people's baggage, other people's life, other people's stuff. And, getting outside of that, how do you find that originality that's your thing and make sure that you're not replicating what somebody else has already done? You know what I mean? I always kind of joke around and say, yeah, I'm replicating things that have already been done, but the people that I'm replicating are dead. Do you know what I'm saying?
Not gonna come from
They're not on this planet any longer. You know what I mean? They're not in this dimension, So it's like, if I'm replicating that, I'm thinking about history.
Right.
That's a whole research project. I can't, I got to go to the library for that. You know what I mean? That's not going to be easily accessible to me in the internet world. You know what I mean? It could be, but I'm going to have to do a little bit deeper digging to understand what was motivating them, why they were making this work, how they were making that work, why they were writing those poems at that time, right? What they were living through at that time. How were their lives influencing what they were thinking about at that time? Like, it's just be more thoughtful about the ways that we're engaging with our making practices and our writing practices.